Second Story Books is the oldest and largest antiquarian and used bookstore in the Washington, D.C. area. It is owned by Allan Stypeck, who I interviewed for this project since 1974. It currently has two different locations in the DMV area, one in Dupont Circle and another one at a warehouse in Rockville, Maryland. Both locations are easily accessible by the Metro Red Line. The place has a wide variety of books that go from cookbooks to children's books to gender studies and much more, as well as its magnificent historical and rare books collection, of course. I had the incredible opportunity to interview the owner, Allan Stypeck, and here's how it went. Hi Allan, nice to meet you. Can you tell us a little bit about Second Story Books for people who are not familiar with it?
Okay, Second Story Books. We are the oldest used and rare bookstore in the Washington, D.C. area. My first store was opened in 1974 on Connecticut Avenue, and later I expanded to 6 stores in 2 cities, Baltimore and the Washington area. And then after reconsolidation in about 2000, we now have 2 locations. One is in Dupont Circle, and the other is the one you're in now in Rockville, Maryland. The stores have evolved over the 50 years, which is our anniversary next year, into probably one of the most well-known bookstores in the world, I'm proud to say. We have 40 employees. We have a full-time social media director who's standing right next to you. That's Emma. We have an enormous amount of internet presence on both auctions and also on Amazon and on other internet platforms, and 2 bricks and mortar stores, which have over 500,000 books in stock. Plus, we do appraisals for private people, for institutions, and for insurance.
Now, could you tell me a little bit more about yourself and what's your connection to books and how you got started in this business?
I was a graduate of the American University School of International Service and Public Policy, was going into the government intending to work in the government in the State Department intelligence community, but fell in love with bookselling in my early 20s and made a transition from that world of the government to the bookstores. I did intend to go into the government at some point, but the evolution of the bookstores and the expansion so quickly changed my whole life around. And so I've never really done any work in the government other than as a consultant, which I do on an ongoing basis. We currently represent the IC, the intelligence community. I work for Henry Kissinger as a consultant, for the estate of Madeleine Albright, and other members of the State Department and other Department of Defense and other cabinet level officials.
How do you navigate a world that becomes increasingly more digital? How does it affect your business, and how do you integrate it into the business?
Oh, you modify your business according to need. And as the internet evolved, we in 1994 were one of the earliest companies to be given a contract by a company at that time named Interlock out of Baltimore, and we were part of the beta testing for the internet transition of bookselling. The first year we cataloged 8,000 books. They gave us $8,000. We did $1 a book. I think we sold $250 worth of books the first year, but we were always at the beginning of the transition. 94 is the transitional year from going analog to more digital, and both in the bookselling community and also in my appraising, where that's the year we use as the transition date. So if you're appraising, in most government, cabinet officials, members of the executive, the legislature, started using computers about that time. So we just stayed the course and expanded our internet presence as the internet evolved, and we've always been pretty much at the head of the curve. Right now, I think we have about 9, 10 full-time people that do nothing but internet-related cataloging and overseeing that department. Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot of people, 9 people.
We pretty have a lot. I think there's only 2 or 3 other bookstores of our kind that have as many employees as we do.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
What do you think is the future of book collectors or booksellers, and where do you think the industry in general is headed to?
Well, I can't say that the industry will maintain its consistency for too long. The evolution, especially with AI, which is going to be almost an immediate change in the usages of information, is going to be the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Bookselling and reading has taken a positive change in the last 5 years. They thought bookselling and bookstores were dead, but indies have actually increased over the last 2 years, and I understand Barnes & Noble's going to make a shot at a comeback. I think there's going to be at least a partial generation of, not a full generation of individuals who are going to be able to maintain the current consistency. But I think because of Born Digital and the changes that is going to create with the AI revolution, bookselling is questionable, but it's not put it this way, it's not going to be extinct, I believe, anytime soon. But I think ultimately, maybe your children will be generationally have chips, and that will be the changing in the civilization as we knew it now to what the civilization will be in the future.
Right.
I won't be around unless they come up with something really cool about longevity.
Okay, so this is it. Thank you so much for participating in this.
Yeah.
Now that you already know a little bit more about Second Story Books, make sure to check either one of their locations. It's really worth it.